Hi, my name is Erdinç. I am the co-founder and CEO of Open4Co, a partnership marketplace that you can partner with some of the best companies in the world and create your own partner programs to build a global network of partners among with thousands of trusted members and partners from 20 different countries. I also run Founder Institute Accelerator program in Japan, Taiwan, and Korea programs. We have helped launch 56 startups in just 3 years. On the other side, I create content like this to help you skip the painful mistakes that I did in my earlier journey. Collaborated with hundreds of startups in my career in different levels of engagement, but generally help on similar challenges over and over again. One of them is validating customer demand with customer discovery work. I will do my best to distill what I learned in my career in this video, not based on theory. It comes from real, brutal lessons that I learned from the hard way. Awkward interviews, cold rejections, wasted months chasing what I thought people wanted. If you're tired of building in the dark, this can save you years and ton of money. Because customer discovery isn't just the first step. It's the line between building something like and something people really actually need, that would really want it. So stick with me until the end. I will walk you through my exact playbook. I will show you how I used to validate Open4Co and now the journey that grew into a platform and a startup accelerator and even a VC through partnerships, so we can implement our learnings in this video. And on the side, of course, with the experience of working with hundreds of companies in my entire career, I'll walk you through, I'll help you out. So what's inside? So this is the custom discovery playbook, 6 short practical chapters, no fluff, no overthinking, just what works. If you're starting out or feeling stuck, this is for you. Let's dive in by having a quick look at these 6 chapters. Chapter 1, stop guessing, start discovering. We kick this off by breaking the giant myth that good idea is enough. I explain why customer discovery matters more than the pitch deck, and why getting outside of the bubble is the most important step that you will take. Chapter 2, who should you talk first? You can't talk just everyone, right? So this chapter shows you how to narrow down your audience using a simple prioritization framework, so you can stop guessing and start learning fast. Chapter 3, where to find the right people. So you will learn how to actually get the people to talk to you and without being spammy or weird. Real world examples, no outdated hacks. So chapter 4, what to ask and what not to, obviously. You will get a step-by-step conversation guide so your interviews don't turn into awkward therapy sessions or fake validation. This is the art of asking the right questions that leads to real insights. Chapter 5, how to analyze what you have heard. So you have done the interviews, now what? We will break down how to make sense your notes, your patterns, spot the patterns, turn random comments into clear directions for your product or strategy. Chapter 6, my story, validating the Open4Co. To wrap it up, I will share how I done the validation work over and over again for Open4Co using everything that I cover in this video. I will show you the missteps, breakthroughs, and how it evolved to something that I would never imagine in my life. So ready to dive in? This isn't a startup masterclass. It's a real-life field manual for founders who want to get clarity, traction, and truth early. Every startup who wants to be successful should be a truth seeker by utilizing the scientific methodology to find out building what matters. Let's get started with the first chapter. So chapter 1, customer development, stop guessing, start asking. Let's start talking about something that 90% of the first-time founders messed up, including me when I got started. We all have startup ideas. Maybe your friend said it's a cool idea, maybe you built a landing page that got 300 clicks, and now you're thinking it's time to build a product. But here's the truth. That's not a business. It's just a bunch of guesses, maybe a dry hope. And hope is not a strategy. What you actually need is to validate your guesses, assumptions, and who is your customer is. What you're problem solving, they care enough to pay to switch. This is where customer development comes in. It's your validation check. So here's the first step, a quick exercise. So start mapping out each customer problem that you think that exists, write them down, and be specific. And then start pulling real-world data, market size, and how many people are experiencing it, and how often, how much it costs them. And this will keep you grounded as you step into the conversation. So do this quick to go right back to the talking with people. This should be like a reflex. Here's the second step. Get out of the building or your office or whatever, right? So, and you talk with the real people, not with friends, not your co-founder, real potential customers. So leave your slides behind, forget the pitch deck. Your job is to test just 2 things basically. Is it a really problem people have? Is it painful or valuable enough that they would pay for it or switch to fix it? Sometimes you will realize maybe the problem doesn't matter to them, or worse, they don't even care. And yeah, that's hard for sure. But you're a passionate founder, right? So you think that you nail it. You talk with maybe 20 people and got some feedback, right? But trust me, until you hear it from someone who doesn't owe you anything, you are just validating your own excitement. Customer development doesn't exist to crush your dreams. It's here to give your dream a chance to survive the reality. Here are some more advice that makes all the difference. Look for urgency, not just the pain. Lots of things are annoying for them maybe, or inefficient or whatsoever. But people only act when the pain is very urgent and when it's stopping them for sleeping or performing or making the money. So start before you feel the readiness. So you might not be ready from the very beginning to start validating this work. It should be a reflex. Don't wait for the perfect logo or tool or shiny deck or another feature or prototype, anything. Just go out there and talk with people. A simple conversation will tell you more than a month of planning or research. Don't test your idea, test their problems. Founders jump into the explaining. Flip it. Forget your idea. Focus on their plan. That's where the goal is. If you think someone nice and not honest with your face, try saying, I'm not sure this idea is good, but only use this with kind of situation, but not in sales kind of situation, obviously. It opens up people magically. When you're vulnerable, they stop being polite and start being honest with you. So here's your challenge for the first chapter. This week, after doing that short exercise that I mentioned in the beginning of this video, just go talk with at least 10 potential users or customers. And please don't use slides, no pitch, just listen, ask about their problems, talk about their challenges. And take notes like your future depends on it, because it really does. So in the next chapter, I will help you to figure out who to talk to first, so you don't waste your time or get stuck. So let's go to the next chapter. Chapter 2, who should you interview? Use this trick to find out fast. In the last chapter, we talk about why you need to get off the building and talk to real people. That validates problems, right? So, but here's the next question. Who the heck should you talk first? And let's say I'm a founder with an imaginary idea. Let's say it's a productivity software. And if you're anything like me, when I get started, I probably made a big list of freelancers, or remote workers, small agencies, YouTubers, anyone that you would probably imagine that could need this kind of software. So that's natural, right? But then you might freeze. So because you can't just talk with anyone, you don't have time. Honestly, not all feedback are useful. So here's what I teach inside of our accelerator as well. A simple framework that I call SPA treatment. So obviously it's an acronym. So S is for size, and P is for willingness to pay, and A is for access. So we will give them a rating to compare after this SPA treatment, and it helps you to prioritize fast. Let's break it down quick. So S is for size. How big is your group? Think how many people out there to fit this customer segment. Remote workers, maybe millions, that's a 3. Independent game developers, it's a niche, maybe 1. We are not trying to be too scientific here at the moment. We are just trying to simply compare the options. No good or bad judgment at this stage. So P is for pay willingness, or willingness to pay. Do they feel the pain enough to pay? Do they have even money at all? Let's say parents working from home, real pain, but maybe not much budget they have, maybe 1. Let's give 1. So let's say course creators, it's a real pain, and they often spend tools, and that's a strong 3. So A is for access. How easily can you reach them? If you already know where they're hanging out, let's say Slack groups, LinkedIn, Twitter, newsletters, or that's the win, right? Or you might imagine a startup example, let's say course creators. I maybe mentor them. Easy access for me, so that's a 3. College students in the dorms, obviously not so much for me in my case, right? Maybe 1. These might not be suitable for me as a founder, which also explains the product or idea founder fit. But for some, it might be suitable for other people, right? We might be expanding into these segments, experiment. Again, we need to always experiment, and then expand our market reach. So if the market is significant enough for sure. So from now on, now multiply the ratings. Size, multiply pay, multiply access. And boom, you have got your top priority segment. While you're narrowing things down, reflect on your own connection to these problems. Have you lived it? Or do you have access to people who experience it often? That context really matters. So it makes it easier to build trust, get insights, and stay motivated. Eliminate the weakest ones and keep 2 of them that you can stick with for the long run. So here are some extra advice that will make you way more strategic. So prioritize those who have already paid to solve it. Look for people who already have spending money in this category. That's a clear sign that they care about to act. 2, follow your curiosity. It's a segment that doesn't excite you. Don't force it. You won't stay engaged long enough to serve them well. So 3, look for network density. If one person can introduce you 5 other people, that's a powerful community. You want kind of compound effect. Interview your anti-persona too. Sometimes it's just helpful to talk to someone you are not targeting. You will shape your messaging by understanding what doesn't resonate. Alright, here's your action steps. Write down 3 to 5 customer segments who might benefit from your product. Give them a SPA treatment. Multiply these numbers. See who comes out on the top. So that's the first batch of interviews. Start there. Focus your energy. In the next chapter, I will show you how to find these people. Let me know which segment scored highest for you at the comments by introducing your startup. I open up free group office hours as always. Okay, let's keep going. Chapter 3, where do you find people to interview without making it weird? Alright, so far we have covered why guessing isn't building, how to choose who to talk first, and now let's face the next big blocker. Where do you actually find these people? And how do you get them to talk with you, or how to get to talk with them without cold emailing or DMing strangers or begging? If you're B2B, be the helpful expert. You're not selling, you're learning. In B2B expert, maybe you're also teaching too. But to earn someone's time, you need to give value first. Here's what works for me and many founders that I coached. First off, mini webinars or office hours, just like I'm doing here and there, is also works very well. But honestly, I'm not doing it for any reason. I just love to give back. So you could also do the same, or you could start it for getting some customer interviews. Pick a useful topic in your domain. Let's say a topic like how to reduce churn using partnerships, or 3 automation tools for lean teams. Invite people from LinkedIn, Slack groups, newsletters, or anywhere that you have an access. Whether you already have reach or easy to reach. You don't need to have 5 signups. Even 5 is gold, but initially. At the end, just say, by the way, I'm researching this topic. I would love to hear about your challenges. Again, make them talk about their issues. So you will learn from them, right? And boom, interviews are booked. DM people who comment on your comments, and that's a warm interest. Don't spam. Start a conversation in the comments. But what if you're a B2C? Hang out where they already are. Again, you're not selling, you're listening, right? So go there where they hang out. Maybe Reddit threads, Twitter, X research, right? Discord, Substack or blog comments, YouTube video comments or replies, right? Reels or short comments, YouTube shorts. These are for online references, but sometimes you might need to do in person too. Maybe in a hobby club, or let's say a golf club, or any semi-business, semi-casual networking type of activity places can be counted. But again, please don't sell. Don't be salesy. Please don't make people bother. Just ask a friendly help. Be social, make empathy. So here's a funny example. Let's say you are building a tool for freelancers. Just search Reddit. Freelancer invoice nightmare. I can assure you, you will find the pain. And then leave a thoughtful reply, just like this. Hey, I'm building something to help with this. Mind if I ask a few questions to understand better? Make it feel like a quick chat, not corporate interview. Alright, here are some further helpful tools that can be helpful for you. Forget about cold calling or cold outreach in any form. Use tools that lower the friction. For example, tools like Typeform for short screener, Calendly for let them book on their own time, and Loom is for asynchronous but rich communication. If you're starting from zero, offer maybe a little reward, like digital gift card, but only after the interview. Please respect their time. So when I say the cold reach, you're still going to really require the outreach. It's completely fine to reach out to people. Do not hesitate to reach out. When you reach out, try to put yourself to their shoes. And always ask yourself, what's in it for them when they talk with you? That will be help enough to be able to reach out to people more friendly way. Again, you are reaching out for a friendly help. When we are talking about cold outreach, people generally think like reaching out hundreds of thousands of people, copycat messages. That's completely wrong. Especially initially, you need to be able to reach out one by one, well-crafted emails. So let's go to some next extra advices related to this that will help you to find people 10x easier. Search for conversations already happening about the problem. But again, do not advertise. You're there for joining the conversation. Would you do this in a normal life? You wouldn't join a conversation by jumping in the middle like buy me type of conversation, right? Just be normal. Anyway, 2. Join the niche communities under a ghost profile. So if you're shy or not ready to share openly, listen first, then how the community talks, and they can care about, and then they engage after that. Maybe you can step by step open up yourself too. So use referral stacking, which means at the end of every interview, please ask, do you know 1 or 2 other people should I talk to, which has maybe a similar problem? That compounds effect is amazing, which compounds into your reach very fast. So can you imagine, maybe they are not willing to do a buy or give a feedback, but they will be able to introduce someone to you. Please offer the same to everyone. So 4, turn rejections into feedbacks. If someone says no, just ask why. But again, don't be insistent, just ask friendly. Their reasons might teach us that something that's confusing or off-putting in your pitch. Here are some action steps for you that you could also follow as you wish. And we will be putting these into a blog post. You can also read it through too. Anyways, so this week, pick one channel that your target customers already use. Maybe Reddit, LinkedIn, a Slack group, Discord, Reels, even Twitter or X. Maybe post a short, honest post, offer real value, ask for a quick chat. Then, once you have mapped out your first assumptions, build your next round of questions. Make them open-ended, focused, tied direct to the problem you are trying to validate. Do 5 solid 30 minutes interviews, and at least 2 should be people who haven't spoken before. Ideally, folks closely resemble the customer you think that you're building for. This isn't going about wide or going viral. So it's about learning deeply. So in the next chapter, I will walk you through exactly what to ask them, how to talk with them. So by this way, you don't freeze up, pitch too early, or waste any moment. So if this is help, drop a comment in the below and let me know what channel you're starting to reach out people from. Let's keep the conversation going. Alright, chapter 4. What should you ask in customer interview? Alright, by now you have figured out why you can't just build off a gut feeling, who to talk to, where to find them, right? Now comes the next wall, the next challenge, which is how do I actually ask during the interview? Let's have a look. Let's fix that. So it doesn't feel like a therapy, or worse, a sales pitch. Alright, here's a quick founder mindset reminder and full disclaimer. So this part might feel uncomfortable. I think it should be this way. You will get ignored, ghosted, and maybe even told that, nah, I'm not interested in. Or even worse reaction that I have ever experienced many times in my career. So, but that's okay. Customer discovery isn't about being liked. It's about being curious. Remember, you are not selling. You're learning now. Maybe that bad behavior will teach you incredible amount of learning. So take it very professionally. Alright, here are some 2 ground rules before we get started. First, as I mentioned many times before, which is no pitching. Don't try to get them to your idea. Don't sneak into a feature or say, would this help? The second you pitch, your brain stops listening. So don't pitch it. Don't try to convince people. Focus on the past or present, never the future. Don't ask, would you pay for it? That's a useless question. People would love to say yes to be just polite. And instead, ask them, tell me about the last time that you have tried to solve this. You're looking for what actually happened, not might happen. My go-to interview script, use it exactly like this, but customize the especially parenthesis parts. So, step 1, tell me about the last time that you experienced parenthesis the problem. So, and then let them talk. You are not just looking for polished answers. You're looking for pain, frustration, and chaos. The more you allow them to talk is better. It's also true for the sales as well, but we will get into this later in future videos. Step 2, what was the hardest part about that? That question is great. This gets them to zoom in. At this point, don't accept vague answers. If they say, it was frustrating, but then ask, why? Or use mirroring technique. Basically repeat their last sentences in a question tone. It was frustrating? That's a persuasion technique that makes people unintentionally elaborate their point. Okay, step 3. Why was that hard? Yes, this can get a little bit awkward when you ask like this, but that's where the goal is. So you might hear that, because I felt stupid, because I missed a deadline and looked so bad. Now you are in the emotional zone, which is very important, the golden zone, where the good marketing and product positioning lives. So step 4, how are you solving this problem now? If they are not doing anything, it's probably not painful enough, at least at this moment. If they are duct taping a solution together, it's a good sign actually. That's your turn. Step 5, why isn't that current solution great? Here's where you see the gap with this question. It's time consuming, it's expensive, I just don't trust it. That's your opportunity. Look for this kind of, frustrations that almost sounds like statement-like. Alright, here are some bonus additional advice based on what I have got asked from the other founders. First off, watch for emotions. Take notes of how they feel. Frustration, guilt, overwhelm. This is the language that you will echo in your marketing message later. 2, repeat for the process 3 times. Ask about 2 to 3 different stories or moments. You will see the patterns later. 3, use the 5 why analysis. Don't settle at the first answer. Keep asking why until you hit the root cause. That's where the real insights live. Again, it might sound a bit awkward in the beginning, but you will learn how to make it more friendly, conversationally over time. So here are some extra tips to take your interview deeper. Ask them to show, not to tell. Instead, ask them, can you show me the last tool you used? 2. Record interviews with a permission, of course. You will pick up things you missed, tone, pacing, frustration, everything you can notice by this way. These details are very, very powerful. 3. Pay attention to the silence. If they pause or stumble, lean it. Confusion is the insight. Ask, could you say more about that? 4. Ask, how do you wish this worked? After they explain their current station, ask this. It reveals their ideal outcome and often a roadmap. But again, just like I mentioned before, use this question carefully because we don't want them to give only wishes to us. We want their problems. We want to understand their problems. You're kind of like a journalism at this moment, in the customer discovery moment. So that's it. So now you can start forming a clear picture of who you are building for. This is where customer archetypes comes in. Take what you have heard and build a short, vivid profile, who they are, what they do, what frustrates them, how they might discover your product. This helps you design a better messaging, onboarding, and retention flows. So here are some suggested action steps for you. Pick your top customer segment, schedule 3 interviews this week, use this exact flow, no pitch, no pressure, just human questions. In the next chapter, I will show you how to take notes, what to do with these notes, and how to analyze the results of these interviews. Because insights is only useful if you can act on it. Alright, if this helps, comment below, and if you're stuck, send me a question. I read everything and do my best to reply. Let's go to the next one. Chapter 5, how to analyze customer interviews. So you did it. You go outside, you ask the right questions, you talk to real people, you listen more than you spoke, hopefully, and now you have got the mass of notes. Raw questions, quotes, some insights, a lot of sticky notes, some recordings, and some noise. Now you're thinking, cool, what are we going to do with that? Let's break it down by step. Here's how to make sense of your interviews without turning your wall into a sticky note museum. So 1, create a simple insights doc. Don't overthink it. Open a Google Doc or Notion or even a spreadsheet and title it Customer Discovery and your company. For each interview, summarize just the key takeaways. Who they are, what problems they describe, how they solving it right now, what frustrates them again, and emotional words or tone, and attach everything related to that person to the doc. Keep it short. You need a simple yet useful system without overthinking. 1 paragraph per person maximum. Alright, step 2, look for patterns. Scroll through your summaries and ask yourself, what problems keep showing up? What emotions repeat? Are they describing the same friction in different words, maybe? For example, 3 people said wasted hours switching between tools, and 2 people say that they hate how confusing their online tools to set up is. That's a pattern. And then, the pattern are your signal to act. Step 3, filter out weak signals. If only 1 person mentioned it, don't build around it yet. Interested in verbally? Sure, okay, but that's not an evidence. If 3+ people bring it up without being asked, that's a gold. Maybe they even sign an LOI, but you're not in the sales mode yet, okay? We are now in the research mode at this moment and needs to be quick. That's something to dig into it. You're looking for repeatable pain, not the edge cases. You might want to start from edge cases just to get going, but you're actually looking for a pattern. Step 4, prioritize the real pain. Now that you have clustered of feedbacks, and ask yourself, which of these problems is painful and urgent? Again, painful and urgent. If people are hacking their own solution together, that's a good sign. If they are doing nothing, might not hurt enough yet, that problem. Prioritize what they're actively trying to fix, even badly. How badly they are looking for. Step 5, write a 1-page summary. Pull out top 3 insights, write them like this. What we have learned from 10 interviews. 1, people don't know how to solve X. For example, 4 people said this. They use a word like I guess or I just winging it. 2, their current solution inefficient or frustrating. Let's say 3 people said they use a workaround but it wasted time and still fails. 3, what they actually wanted, maybe an outcome or emotion. Let's say they're not asking for a feature, they want a control, clarity, confidence, that sort of thing. Try to catch them up. See, that's your foundation for product, messaging, and MVP focus. You can learn a lot of things from these. You can even use this for your own verbal pitch daily from now on, as if you do quickly, to build an excitement around your startup. Even with just an idea, you should be able to do this. Also, look at how they are solving this problem today, how they are hacking it with spreadsheets, or so on. Maybe they're using expensive tools, doing nothing at all. Break it down step by step. If they are not solving it, maybe it's not urgent. If they are, can you make it 10x faster, better, cheaper, and so on? And while you're at this moment, check who tried this and failed to solve this problem before. You can learn a lot from those who didn't make it. Okay, here are some bonus tips that will make your analysis way smarter. First, you can use color-coded tags. Let's say, for pain, you can use red color. For workarounds, you can use yellow. For emotions, you can use maybe blue color. If there's an ask, maybe you can use a green color. So if you're using a Notion or Airtable, that will make the patterns jump out faster. So 2, one insight per sticky note or cell. Don't mix together two learnings in one note. Keep it clean and organized. And it forces clarity and helps you to stay organized. 3, I think this is the most important. Flag things like I will pay for it and these kind of moments. Anything that includes pain. Whenever someone mentions money or urgency, highlight that. Those moments are product clues. 4, use their words in your copy. Your marketing should sound like your user because you need to be resonate with them, right? Take their exact phrases and use them in headlines, landing pages, and pitches. That's a great hack. Alright, here's your action steps. This week, pull out 5 to 10 of your interviews, summarize them in a doc, find the patterns, write the 3 most important takeaways, and you're not just getting the feedbacks anymore, you're shaping the direction at the moment, right? In the next chapter, I will show you how I use these exact processes, validate the OpenFlow, and how it grew into something that I would never expect or imagine before. Alright, comment below if you're stuck in or anything messy in your notes or analysis. I'm happy to answer questions in the comment below. Let's figure out together. Okay, let's go to the next one. So chapter 6, how I validate OpenFlow and what you can learn from it. In this chapter, I want to wrap up this customer discovery video by sharing something a bit more personal, but we can use this opportunity to implement our learnings with a story like mine. Alright, how I did is actually using all these advice that I cover in this video, but honestly speaking, I didn't learn it anywhere just like in this video, right? I needed to experience in a very, very hard way, one by one, with very painful experiences. So I'm really talking about real life rejections, disappointments, awkward moments, even tensions with people. Because sometimes people are not that kind enough beyond the kindness, they can simply be rude to you. So unfortunately, I had these experiences and I don't want you to feel the same. I'm happy to share what I learned. These kind of moments are where you second guess everything because you want to maybe avoid. But in any ways, even though you are learning from the first hand these kind of things, I would still recommend go out there, don't be intimidated, talk as much as people as possible, and this should be a reflex. It should be a lifestyle to talking with your customers, talking with your users, hanging out with them, trying to understand with them regularly. Anyways, the uncomfortableness that you might experience this kind of exercise is actually will build a real business, real scalable global business. So in my case, it all started with one simple question. I knew that I need to find an idea that could get early momentum fast. But before that, obviously I did many other things. I'm going to explain that kind of things maybe later in another video. But first, something I could validate quickly and where I would actually talk with the real people easily. Remember what we talked before? So, at networking events, I choose networking because it was always there, right? Startup related things. Naturally, I choose an idea related about this. I kept asking the same question over and over again, which is, I'm building a database of companies that are open for collaborations. Would you be interested to list it there too? Almost everyone said yes. I felt like it's a validation at first. But the truth is, again, we should be a truth seeker, right? We should be honest about this. The real validation only came when we start asking the money. So people saying yes is cheap. People paying is a proof. Alright, then the list turned into a service. As the database grew, people start asking, hey, can you help us to find a specific type of partner for our specific project? We will pay for it. It's urgent. That's when we realized that we have something real here. This wasn't just a list anymore. It had become a consulting-style business where we manually prepare companies and match them out, bring together, and collaborate. While it worked, I knew we couldn't stay there. Consulting can be a great way to bootstrap maybe initially. It's not scalable. It's just like fishing by hand. It's not investable. Not a good business in my point of view, honestly. From service to a platform. So we use the same validation process again and again to build the platform, and then product, and the community, and eventually a marketplace layer for OpenFlow. We ask the people the current solutions they have, the frustration they have, what they would actually pay for it, and again the same. We test the sales, we refine the messaging, we learn how to make the buying process and delivery repeatable, and we're still learning for it. As we validated what people wanted, we also explore what they're willing to pay for, and other type of business models too. That's where the thinking about the revenue model kicked in. We tested different ways of people might pay, like flat fee, membership fee, success fee, like referrals and commissions and so on. Then we mapped the actual steps it will take to get paid, from discovery to conversions. You learn fast when the money evolves. Actually, it started to work. But then, we we actually hit a technical wall. It wasn't that easy. And then we arrived at the business model that we never planned for. While solving one problem, something unexpected happened. Startups we worked with started asking for deeper help. Not just partners, but growth, traction, strategy, funding. So we started doing more. We became equity partners with startups by partnering with one of the most biggest startup accelerator program in the world. So fast forward, now we are building a VC on the top of everything. Would it work together all together? That's a technical challenge. I think we're going to figure out. None of that was the part of the original roadmap. That's the point. But all of it came from following the same loop. Listen your users, solve real pain, validate every step quickly, really quickly, just like a reflex for founders. The validation reflex, talking with the customer reflex. You go out there, when you have a challenge, just talk with the people. So the journey isn't over for us. Even now, we are at the both sides of the table and growing. We never get funded actually. So that, as a bootstrapping startup company, we needed to reinvent most of the things by ourselves while validating the scalable pathway. Now we are very close to this level of growth. Again, we're very passionate, but I'm not against getting funding as well, as I'm on the both sides of the table. I think we will be figuring out huge, massive success from maybe thousands of times growth. The validation process hasn't stopped, and we never stop. That should be a lifestyle, that should be a reflex. So we keep talking with users, we keep refining the product, we keep testing new business models without ever losing the original mission, to help companies find right partners and help them collaborate to grow faster together. So here are some extra advice that took me further that might be also relevant for you too. So don't chase the perfect idea, chase real problems. That's where the real business starts. Next is you will find yourself in an idea maze. That's normal. The way out is simple. Start with one question. Ask that right question until you're tired of hearing yourself. Repetition is how you uncover patterns, not guesses. Build based on patterns of feedback, not instincts, not praise. What keeps coming up? That's your pathway. Be ready to evolve. Build things modular and changeable. Stay flexible. The best founders are relentlessly changeable people without losing the core. Turn every service request into a product hypothesis. If someone pays you to do something manually, ask them, what would this look like as a software? Or anything like repeatable system approach. Let the market shape the roadmap. And listen, the best next step almost always comes from a real user, not your strategy document. Use consulting to fund validation, at least it's worked in my case, not to get stuck. Because we are a bootstrap company, it might also work for you too. But again, don't let this to stuck you. Cash is good, but if you're always custom building, you're not scaling. Take the money and then learn pretty quickly and move on. Optimize for scalability. Revalidate everything things change, even at a minuscule level. New price, new user group, new market, redo the discovery. All insights fade fast. Alright, let's recap. So in this 6-part series, we covered the full customer discovery journey. Let's have a look. Chapter 1, why guessing is dangerous and how to start discovering for real. And Chapter 2, how to choose who to interview so you don't waste time. Chapter 3, where to find these people and how to actually get them to talk with you. Chapter 4, what to ask them and what to never ask, and to uncover real insights. Chapter 5, how to analyze your interviews and find patterns worth building around. Chapter 6, my own story I share, how I validate open for core. And again, so this isn't just a theory, it's a practical playbook that you can start using by today. You should be going out, asking people, validating every little step you have, but don't make it like a very long strategic move for yourself. It should be a reflex. It should be so quick, actionable, it should be a lifestyle. So here's your next move. Rewatch any chapter that you need. Start talking to real people this week. And if it is really helpful for you, share with another founder. Final note is, let's stop guessing. Don't make it guesswork. Use the scientific methodology that just like we share here in a practical way to validate important actions and decisions very quick. There are a lot of problems to solve in the world. Let's build things people actually need. So subscribe if you didn't already and leave a comment below. I will open some group office hours for the people who comment below. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching.